expecting another pandemic?
Yes, we are. We are expecting another pandemic, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Bill Gates and Rice University, and you can Google it, they just created the next level of the quantum dot tattoo. It's going to be a little thing that will be stuck on the back of your hand, and it will install into your system, and it will carry your vaccine passport, it will carry your health record, it will carry your money, it will carry everything. And the next pandemic is just going to be installed in your hand. Their plan was to digitalize all nations by 2025, and it did happen. The first thing they did to digitalize Nigeria was to tell you that you cannot have a phone if you don't go and register the SIM card.
And then?
That was several years ago. Then they decided that give your own naira, we'll give you new naira. And then when it was time to give new naira, they didn't have enough. Then everybody started transmitting money because there's no cash.
Yeah.
So Nigeria has practically become a cashless society.
It's fast becoming.
Yes. All they have to do right now is to bring a disruptive event, and people will line up for the government to give them subsidies, and they will you have to get it in a market.
Do you feel it's part of wisdom for people to keep cash?
It's part of wisdom for people to get back to the farm and keep bags of rice, because cash is not going to help you if they change the color of the money. Keep gold. Like I have gold and silver. Your money is better off in bags of rice. If I were to give a message to Nigeria, get back to the farm. You see, Cameroon, as messed up as Cameroon is, it's been hard to totally conquer the nation because everybody farms. In Nigeria, a lot of people don't farm. In Africa, Nigeria was the country that they used as one of their flagship countries to bring in digital money. So think about it right now. 2 years ago, a bag of rice, and now it's like totally crazy.
Do you feel farmers are being systematically eliminated?
Yes, the Fulani herdsmen trying to make sure that people don't get back to the farm.
Yes. Do you feel that has a connection
That's all part of it. It's all part of the whole plan. Make sure that, Nigerians starve and not have anywhere to go back to the farm. The best thing any nation can do right now is to be able to have your own food supply, because that is going to be the major thing. You need to be able to stock up food. When I say stock up food, I mean put it in cartons and hide them. Because right now you can go out and buy rice. There's going to come a time you're not going to be able to buy it without the mark. It's coming, and it's going to be soon.
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rikah Quadash, and double honors to those great millstone where I learned his truth, and also to those Filet that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Shema Shah. And the type of the lesson is the plan. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. So before we start today's lesson, we're going to get to a definition of what plan means.
Plan.
The definition of plan. It says a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. So let's get a little bit more on this. It says here, scheme, plan of action, idea, master plan, game plan, proposal. Let's get another one here. Project, just like Project 2026, going to Project Esther, it give you the outline, what they're getting ready to propose or what they're getting ready to plan. You know what I'm saying? So it says here, program, system. So we know they're putting a new system into place, this new digital infrastructure, whereby it will be digital, programmable, also surveillance under the skin. You understand what I'm saying? And it says here, let's get a little bit more, and it says scenario, arrangement, schedule, agenda. So we know exactly what the agenda is, total control. It says here, plot. We know their plot. Device. We're not ignorant of what Satan devices. We know exactly what these international bankers, these global elites, exactly what they're trying to pull. So we've seen in the opening video what is going on in Africa for several years. Bill Gates has been over there, trying to say that they're over there trying to help these people to have a better economy, better way of doing things. But we already knowing what they're trying to propose or what their plan is. which in fact is that 3-letter word. So, so I did a quick AI overview of, what they're doing over there. So the lady was saying in the video, a couple of key points she brought out that, that they are almost cashless in Nigeria. And also, once again, we know that Africa, different parts of Africa are test run for their new plan that they're putting into place. So she was saying that by 2025 the whole world supposed to be digital, but now that it didn't work. So we seeing now that 2026 they're like moving in warp speed to bring it to pass, and which in fact we are saying that that this year will go digital. We already know that they coming into this new digital infrastructure. Also, they constantly putting up these data centers pretty much across America. And also in the newest one was it's going to be I think 2 or 3 they're going to put in Shreveport, Louisiana. So, very close to where I am, saying in the South. So we seeing right now that they're getting closer and closer to try to achieve their goal, their plan, their agenda, their plot, which in fact is the 3-letter word, that what. So we're very close. So we have to be careful what we're saying on these videos now, because they're very, they get very strict now. Famine of the word is fast approach. But one thing about it, the mental law, we're gonna constantly warn you, left and right. We're not gonna keep silent. We're gonna keep warning you, whether you hear or whether you will forbear. So right here. And also, we know that this is going into Revelation chapter 13, real time. It says here, this AI overview, just a quick little deal. We're just going to touch on a few things. We're not going to go too deep, but, pretty much, we just going to hint at it, because you already know we pretty much here. We goes over these things left and right. It says here, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has not single-handedly made Nigeria cashless, said, but it has significantly accelerated financial inclusion and digital payment adoption in the country since 2013. Said the foundation works with the Nigerian government to digitize payment, particularly for low income household, and supports the development of digital ID systems. So we already knowing over here in Nigeria, they pushing that pretty hard over there. Also said that these I think they already started the digital ID. I think in Australia, different parts of the UK, and also we already know, and I think Mexico. I think it started this month. In Canada, so we seeing that it's going to be worldwide very soon. So right here, we know that that's what they constantly want, a cashless society. Also, the lady said that it will be another pandemic. So we already knowing that, that they constantly saying about these different outbreaks, these different diseases, which in fact are pestilence, just like the Bible says. So we knowing that these things are coming to pass. Also, she said, you're not going to be able to do nothing but right at the end without taking the mark, the charagma, what I'm saying? Surveillance under the skin, already knowing that this is going to be dealing with your biometrics. Also, you will own nothing and be happy. And also was another part in the video I've seen whereby they was talking about that quantum tattoo, whereby you understand it would deliver, certain things into your body. You know what I'm saying? So we seeing that, and it's saying that these wearables and these so-called electronic tattoos and smart glass and many others will lead will lead to the replace a lot. We'll replace the smartphone. So that's where we at, So we already knowing where this is going. We knowing eventually you will become the smartphone, the internet of bodies. So we go over these things left and right. Let's get a little bit more of these key details. It says digital incentives. Said the Gates Foundation support the digitalization of government payments and assets in streamlining NIN, national identification number, enrollment which is critical for accessing digital financial service. So we already know it right there. They always using, goes into these poor countries and set up all sorts of things that they want to do. Trying this out, trying that out. They trying to work out all the kinks. So right now they feel like they have it, So we know that the devil is getting ready to feel his belly. Let's get this last little point. It said focus on access. Bill Gates has highlighted that while digital payments are growing, access is not so access is not credible with a focus needed on bridging the urban rural divide. So I guess they trying to modernize, bring this new technology over there. This new man. Let me tell you. Let's see what else we got here. Just looking to see what else, but and also they replacing the way they doing things like farming and stuff. You already know they're gonna go with these GMOs, these lab grown meats, the different things. And I went into a lesson a couple of days ago. It's always good to go back into it. It says here to other investments. It says said the Gates Foundation heavily supports health, agriculture, and AI innovations in Nigeria. So at some point the AI is going to take over most of these jobs in the way you do things. So it's going to be a lot of life-changing events coming place. So we seeing right there, C19 drives global surge. We're not going to go into that, but we seeing right now, the agenda, it says digitizing government payments in Nigeria. So we already knowing that, 2026 is going to be their goal to make everything digital, so we already know that, that they slowly fading out the US dollar. And also it's already pretty much mostly cashless in Nigeria. They're not using cash like before. So, so they, they constantly pushing that agenda. We already know that these things are coming to America very soon. We already seeing what's going on all around the world. We knowing that eventually it's going to come here. So this is some other articles. So it's another one I want to get right quick. I did a little search on this surveillance under the skin, because this is where all roads going to lead to, this surveillance under the skin. It's doing it in this RFD microchip, which in fact is the mark of the beast. Even though we're seeing that the war drums are beating, and also, we're seeing that America is preparing to go into Iran. World War III has begun. So things is constantly picking up. So we know that we get very close to the implementation of this. It says surveillance under the skin refers to a shift from monitoring external behavior to collecting and analyzing internal biometrics data. Said a trend of accelerated by the C19 pandemic. Said this concept highlighted by historian Yuval Noah Harari. You already know who this devil is. So we're not gonna go too much into this, but you see where it says. He says what he says involves the ability to hack human beings by using wearable technology or implanted devices to analyze psychological data such as body temperature, heart rate, and emotional states, potentially allowing an external system to understand individual better than they understand themselves. So you see where all this is going. So I don't want to get too far in it, but it's going to be dealing with your biometric surveillance, analysis, and monitoring. So you go into that where smart, it goes into surveillance, monitoring, analysis, reporting, technology. So you see, we seeing the plan right here. It's playing out as a biometric data collection. So unlike traditional surveillance, which relies on cameras, CCTV, this form focus on biological data. It uses wearables like smartwatches or in extreme cases implantable sensors to track health indicators and by extension users behavior and feelings. So we're not gonna get too much in it, but you can always go back and look at this. Say implantable device. Let's get this one right here. So it says here, already knowing the test run is going in Sweden. Also, we're seeing another test run in China. China is the blueprint. Also, we're seeing Sweden and also in Nigeria. Eventually it's going to be worldwide, globally. The hour of testing, the hour of temptation is fast approaching. So we're seeing that these things right here is coming reality very soon. It says here, implantable devices said while less common, said the use of implantable RFID chips such as the Vero chip has been explored for access control and identification purpose, raising ethical concerns regarding privacy and autonomy. So that's where we're gonna go on this. We don't go too far, but you seeing where this is going to that grain of rice. So we seeing what's happening in Africa. They've been doing all sorts of things in Africa for several years. A lot of things that they're constantly been doing. They're using really those people as just like guinea pigs. This man is not a keeper at home, and also he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. The modern day so-called white man, not white but red. So this is what he's pushing. This is. It's the plan, that's what we constantly warn you about. You would not be able to buy or sell. You would not be able to go into another city without having this type of device under your skin. We put it like that. So we're seeing right here. We're not going to go too far. It's many others, but we're going to leave it right there. So let's get a quick precept right quick. Let's go here to Micah. And then we got one more video we're going to show to bring it out with a little bit more. Let's go here to Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. It said, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. It said, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Right now, for a short scene, we're seeing right now, he's getting ready to try to pull off this agenda, total control. One government, one religion, and one currency. You understand what I'm saying? So we're seeing that it is right before our eyes. And we're getting closer and closer to this becoming a reality, but the Lord said their hands would not be able to perform their enterprise. So let's get this right quick. In the NLT, it says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans. So you rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so. This lines up perfectly with what Job chapter 9 and verse 24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, but only for a short season. So we're in that short season right now. He's knowing that his time is very short. We're seeing that the war drums are beating. We're seeing World War III has begun. We're seeing what's happening all around the world. This man wants everything, including you, which in fact the Lord said, those days shall be short. Or there will be no flesh saved alive. This man right here, is coming with all sorts of technology, pseudoscience, this AI, this transhumanism, make you the internet of bodies. Also, we know that these AI is slowly taking over all these jobs. So I got another video, lesson I'm going to put out later, about these robots and what they can do, all sorts of things that they can do. They slowly try to replace you with this new evil device that they constantly bringing forth. This man is constantly devising it, called to what the power is in his hand, but only for a short season. We already know he come with another pandemic. Also, we know that he's coming with that grain of rice and also these digital downloads once again. You understand what I'm saying? That hokey pokey. And also, still be hearing in the news about these concentration camps. He's getting the stage. The stage is already ready, getting everything ready. So we see that we're here. You will own nothing and be happy. So that's what we're looking at right now. So the power is in his hand, but only for a short season. But we're not ignorant of Satan's device. So now let's get this last little video, and we'll get a couple more precepts, then we'll close out.
Your family, your child, your mother. There isn't anything that you have or ever hope to have that they're not planning on taking away. I'm talking about the oligarchy of evil that controls this country. The American dream is over. The American nightmare is here. The big picture, they want it all. They want to enslave your child, your wife, your mother, There isn't anything that you ever had. There isn't anything that you own. There isn't any right that you possess that they're not planning on taking away.
Sheeple. Your sheeple.
And your children are going to be slaughtered if you go along with the program. It's time to wake the town and tell the sheeple. We're being led like sheep to the slaughter. What is the purpose? A new world order. The United States of America is controlled by this evil archy. They control the money system. They control the State Department. They control the presidency. On the backside of the dollar bill, you'll find the Illuminati pyramid. Annuit Septus. Novus Ordo Seclorum.
If you look very closely, you will see an owl. So they have a plan to give us a new age, world, global, occultic religion. They're going to have been deceived so greatly that they'll actually think it's something good. In fact, the whole New Age movement, the New World Order crowd is telling people that the 666 mark of the beast is the most elite thing that could ever happen to them.
No cash. Cashless society. It's ready to go. Disease could be created. In essence, this is what he was saying.
We have new strains of virtually everything that's drug resistant or drug free.
I'm not worried about the old diseases. I'm worried about the ones that they create to bring down the population of the world. They simply want to exterminate them, but that they consider them to be useless eaters.
Words are very important to the Illuminati. These things are manufactured purposely for a purpose. And so I'm saying that there is something organized and directed, and it's here in this country. Future shocker biochip. And this is what Anthony showed you earlier, a biochip. That's an injectable computer chip, an economic mark in the back of our right hands or in our foreheads.
You've got a choice. You can join in this fight, or you can die as a slave.
So now let's start up. The lesson we'll start here first in 2 Corinthians chapter 2. You know, it's been being a common precept right here, but it's popping right now. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. You know, so we seeing this is exactly what these international bankers, these global elites, this is exactly what they want. You know, and one thing about it, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Let's start here. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his device, what his plan, his plot, his scheme, his agenda. You know, we're seeing it happening, you know, in the opening videos, you know, constantly warning you this thing is going to be worldwide. And also we know that the physical counterpart of Satan is the modern day so-called white man, Esau, Edom. And also, lest he get that advantage, you know, which in fact is total control. We're not ignorant. You know, who is not ignorant of the true believers, starting with the prophets, and also the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Abishai. And also when you go into that word device, it goes into his mindset, his purpose. You know what I'm saying? His evil scheme. So that's where we at right now. You know, these things is coming down to the wire. We know that World War III is brewing. We know that the MOTB is here. Jacob Trouble is out the door. A lot of things is happening. And also, once again, our salvation is at the door. You know, our great deliverance is at hand. You know, just like the man said in the video, you know, is that, you know, it's the American dream is over and the American nightmare has begun. And out about we're ready to get the hell out of this nightmare. Get back with our Lord and Savior forever and forever. Yahweh Shah Mashiach. He's getting ready to return. So now, let's go here to the main meat here. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13. We're just going to get a few points. You know, we're not going to go into too deep tonight. You know, we always bring this out. But just like I say, you know, the election has attained and the rest was blinded. So, you know, all the games about to be over very soon. You know, these things come in full circle. We constantly warn you, it's getting closer and closer. You know, every day when you wake up, we look and see that, you know, we're one step closer every morning, every night. We're getting closer and closer, you know what I'm saying, to the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. We already know that we got to go through this tribulation period that we've never seen before. But guess what? We win in the end. We got next. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 6 said, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark to charagma in their right hand or in their forehead. So we already know that they have this technology already. And right now it causes all, both small, great, rich and poor, free and bond. So it's going to be worldwide, you know, it's going to be globally. You know, that's exactly what they're constantly pushing left and right, you know. And right here it says, you know, the mark, the charagma, once again, shall be what the RFD microchip, you know what I'm saying, the surveillance under your skin, also that Neuralink. So these things are right here before your eye, you know, the pseudoscience, man, is coming. These lying wonders, these counterfeit miracles. That's what he's coming with, you know, take heed that no man deceive you. Verse 17 said, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark to Charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. It's talking about this system. It's going into that system. You got to have the surveillance under the skin. You know what I'm saying? Or you will not be able to buy or sell. So the lady was saying in the first video, it's better for you to try to start raising your food instead of worrying about money. And also try to go in, try to get you some gold or some silver. So that's really is the real money. We already knowing that this paper is worthless. You know what I'm saying? That it's coming obsolete. So things are getting ready to go digital very soon. So they're trying to digitize everything. And put you on this blockchain technology. So we see it right here that you will not be able to do a damn thing. Get your food, your water, your necessities. Your way of life is getting ready to change. So we already knowing that surveillance under the skin is dealing with your biometrics. Also, your medical, your driver license, your social security card, your medical history once again. You know what I'm saying? Many other things, so that's where we at right now. This man is trying to make you a walking device, to make you the internet of bodies. We goes over these things left and right. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it's a number of a man, and his number is 600, 66. So it's going into this Christ-style stigma, this badge of servitude. Who will you serve? Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will serve the modern day Pharaoh, which in fact is Esau Edom, the so-called red man, not white, red. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they're going to fall down to this system. You will be totally destroyed. That's why you got to be prayed up. You got to have faith. And also you got to be a part of the election, who the Lord's dealing with. And one thing about it, the only thing I would tell you, do not take it. Trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. We know what the plan is, but the plan, what is coming, is the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. You know what I'm saying? We cannot wait. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. So we know that we coming upon that cashless side. We know that things get ready to be obsolete when you go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel right quick before we close out. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 7. And verse 19, let's go here, your silver and your gold, it would not profit thee in the day of trouble. So, if you don't have like resources, so we already know to control the money, control the people, control the food, control the people. So I say exactly what they're doing. And also the lady was saying that, they pretty much want those Nigerians to starve to death so they can start some type of what you call this order out of chaos, so they can bring forth that solution, that digital oil. So we seeing where these things are going. Even that lady, she broke it down perfectly. Even these damn Hamites know, what this red devil is getting ready to do. So this man has spoiled many nations, and he's getting ready to be spoiled. Also, once again, he has bound that he cannot pass. Let's get this here. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 19 says, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their soul, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. So right here, no matter how much money you have or influence or reputation during that time, the Lord is not on your side. You are going to be taken in a great number. That's what we constantly warning you left and right. These things are getting ready to get very critical. Things are getting ready to get very dark perilous. A lot of unaliving. A lot of people are going to starve to death. It's going to be a time of trouble that we've never seen before. A lack of resource, food, water. You know what I'm saying? Children, going to be starved. Cannibalism is getting ready to set in. A lot of things get ready to happen. These women, that right now walking around very prideful, guess what? There's going to be a lot of graping going on. We know that Isaiah chapter 4:1 is getting ready to come into play very soon. Also, we know that Eve and also these rest of these tribes are getting ready to get their mind right. Eve and also the northern tribe also, getting ready to get in line very soon. We know that Jacob's trouble is at the door. We're seeing that these things are right before our eyes. That's why we got to constantly be praying, have faith, what I'm saying? And faith is a gift from who? Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, and who have faith, which in fact is the elect, the true believers, the house of David. That's what we constantly want you, left and right. We constantly sounding the Lord. And guess what? We're very excited. We knowing that our Lord is getting ready to return. We're rejoicing. We're almost out of this nightmare. So the American dream is over. What it never was a dream for us, what always was a what? A damn nightmare. We're ready to get the hell out of here. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Psalm chapter 21. We close out here. And once again, I hope that you will get edified. So we just got to keep pushing the best of our ability. We almost to the finish line. To look back is death. We're looking forward, to the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. We cannot wait. Let's get this last and final script right here. Psalm chapter 21 and verse 11 said, "For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform." So that's where we at right now. Their ass is going to set it up, but the Lord is going to take it down. The Lord said they would build, but I would throw down Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So, we don't give a damn what they try to this new world order, whatever catches. We don't give a damn. We know that it's going to be what you call a very vain thing, something that is futile, because the Lord is getting ready to return. You know what I'm saying? We cannot wait, man. This man is going down. We seeing that transition to power. Let's see here in the NLT. So, although they plot against you, their evil scheme will never succeed. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua. We'll close out with that. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is The Plan. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Rikah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.